Nope. All right. Well, it's the best I can do, fellas.
No, that's fine for us.
Perfect. Yeah, we can hear you
Get
just
the
perfect.
headphones in, and we'll try to. Let's see what this looks like if I do. Let's see, where's this coming in from? Is that better? Oop.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fine, yeah, perfect.
Okay. I
Right,
don't know if it's coming through the headphones or my thing, but I don't know. I'm trying.
that's all good. Right, Stephen, we're live now. Do you want to start?
I think that might be good. Let's try this. Is that better? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
everything's
yeah.
fine. Perfect. It works fine.
Okay, there we go. Now Bob's on. Yeah.
Oh, that's perfection, man.
excellent.
Yep. Superb.
Right, we ready to go?
Yep.
Yeah, we
Right.
are.
Oh, hello everybody once again. Call of Duty Price Posting. We're here again with another interview with our first interview with Chris Jai Alex, aka Mace, from Modern Warfare 2019. And I understand Mace is a bit of a fan favorite among a lot of you players out there. So, I mean, you guys all know the deal. Please stay respectful. Any questions you want to ask, please submit them via the live chat or wherever else. And yeah, let's just have fun like we always do with these things. Chris, I guess you can start us off by just telling us a bit about yourself, how you got into the role of Mace, how you got into Call of Duty in the first place, and what other roles you've been up to recently.
So I'm trying to adjust, but hey, everybody, my name is Chris J. Alex. Everyone says Jai, but it's cool. It's Chris J. Alex. Yeah, man, I got into Call of Duty pretty much how most people got it. I just auditioned for it. I didn't know I was going in, and then we booked the job, and here we are. It was Call of Duty, and it was I would say I was pleasantly surprised. A little bit about myself. I started off as a stuntman. It's kind of the first job I had when I moved out to LA from Lansing, Michigan. If y'all seen Don't Look Up, Lansing, Michigan, that's where I am from there. But started off as a stuntman, moved on into voiceover and on camera, and now I'm a full-fledged filmmaker, creating my own content and working for other people as well every now and then. So that's kind of where I came from.
So, I mean, more on that. What attracted you to begin the career as an actor? Obviously, you stunt double to start with. What
Okay.
sort of attracted you to do that?
So originally, I actually came from a family. Well, at least my mom. She was very much into. She was into entertainment. She was kind of like the kid from a small town, well, Detroit, that never quite made it. So, me and my brothers, we kind of inherited that the will to be in entertainment. Started off in music, did okay, went independent, and then I moved out here to LA. And acting kind of took off. So, I mean, we segued to that, and then that's pretty much how I got started. But I always wanted to be in entertainment since, I saw my mom, kind of grew up in an artist friendly environment.
All right. So, how did you transition into going to the world of Call of Duty? The franchise. I know you were in Black Ops 4, weren't you? As was it announcer, the multiplayer announcer? And,
Yes.
was you going into from the Black Ops 4? Did that sort of move on to you being a part of Warzone then, or did you have to, go through a different step to get into it, or was that all sort of connected?
Well, here's the thing, man. If you work a puppet, you're gonna end up in a puppet show, man. It's pretty much. I think there's like a handful of people that do the work all the time. If you're a voice actor, you end up in various stuff. So I like I said, that one I didn't know I was a part of either. I just kind of auditioned and showed up, and okay, oh, this one is Call of Duty. So it's I mean, I think it may have something to do with repeat business, but honestly, man, when I get stuff, I audition on this little microphone, and whoever calls, if I'm available, that's kind of whoever I work with. So there really wasn't any method or to the madness. It just kind of happened.
Yeah.
And,
Did you know you were? Did you know you were interviewing for Call of Duty, or was it all under a project? And
No, they never tell you that. Then you can ask for more money. No, as soon as after you sign the contract, and you're like, oh shit. Well, okay. Well, it is what it is, and that's why, you do the interviews and you do the cons, because then it's like, it's such a massive game with such a beloved fan base. You just kind of want to. You just kind of enjoy doing it. So it's just like, honestly, I would have did it for free, but LA rent is expensive, but it's a much welcome bonus to be able to support yourself, what you love.
Yeah. What aspects do you prefer? Do you prefer the voice acting or the on-screen acting?
Oh, on camera. The reason why is just like, it's cool having your voice and stuff, but there's nothing like having your face out there. And to be quite candid, there are a lot of opportunities I want to create for my friends. There are a lot of opportunities and things that I want to explore for myself as well. And essentially this is a commercial and a network to your next thing. So I mean, as much as I like doing voice, you ain't gonna get to the front of the club being the voice guy, like somebody super huge. Yeah. But there's just a certain amount of opportunity and benefits of being having your likeness and portraying a character. And if we're going to the acting side of it, essentially when you're voice acting, you take all of your tools away. You don't get to use your mask. You get to use your presence and posture. There's so many things that they take away from you as an actor. Yeah. And you have to just rely strictly on voice, which is an interesting challenge. But just working the craft side of it, I really like doing everything. And plus, I like being on camera. It's kind of fun. Everybody wants to be like Bruce Willis, Wesley Snipes, everybody up, obviously for pretend, but it's kind of fun to see yourself kick ass in a movie, right? It's kind of fun.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Did you do any mocapping for Mason, or were you just primarily the voice for?
I was 100% the voice. I've actually never did mocap for Activision, and I think they have their own team that does that. I've done mocap in other projects, but it's kind of like the Jim Henson Creature Shop, how they used to do stuff. One person would be the puppeteer, and the other person would be the voice, and they would kind of meld them together. I have never been the voice and the guy in this suit all at once. That would be really, really cool.
It seems to be quite a pattern with maybe the Warzone. The Warzone operators seem to be the voice, a player model, and a mocap all separate, whereas the campaign, especially for Modern Warfare 19, I think all of them did the voice and the mocapping. So it's interesting to see that the two differences that maybe during the pandemic maybe an issue. They want the voice from one guy, but obviously can't travel. So it's interesting to see.
Honestly, I have no idea. But I've never really thought about it. But yeah, I mean that could be interesting. Yeah, it's interesting.
Diego, do you want to ask a couple of questions?
What's up, Diego?
Hell yeah. Hi, Chris. Really nice talking to you. So, as you mentioned, Mace. Well, as we mentioned, Mace is a fan favorite. So I gotta ask you this: do you share any similarities with your character? Could be like personality or anything you might consider.
Do I share any traits or any
personalities
with my characters? I feel anything that you portray is. I mean, you're always going to have a piece of the character that you portray in you, just a little bit, even if it's just finding the truest iteration of that character in the context of pretend. There's always going to be how you approach things, the psychology, and how you just certain things that you would approach things that you would find for in that character. So there's biases there. But I would say if I did a deep dive, that would be something I have to do a deep dive and really think. But I just think innately when an actor portrays a character, there's going to be traces of themselves inside of it, because it's just their lens and how they interpret things and how they view life, and then it just becomes a question of do you agree or disagree with that character's methodology, and how do you bridge the gap? If you disagree, how do you how do you create the bridge in order to agree with that person strategically and just an organic way to bring that to life? So I think there's a little bit of math that has to be worked out that way. And if you just agree with the character, then it's like, okay, how do I make sure that I'm still serving the character without putting all of my biases on it because I may be too close to it? So it's a little bit of a dance there.
Okay, yeah, well, I didn't know there was like that math on it, but really sounds interesting work.
And then sometimes, I'll be quite honest, it's sometimes like if you play the character for a while, the more you can deep dive in it, and then sometimes like you're seeing a character the first time and you have no context. You're like, okay, this is what's happening, this is the line, and this is a little bit of the situation that's going on, and act. I was been thrown into that as well, and it's just like you kind of just have to do this math very, very quickly in order to give a convincing performance, because essentially, especially when you're working on something top secret, you don't get all that information just because of spoilers and stuff like that. So it's just like you really kind of just have to be really good at creating the world in your head, and then the more your directors give you the story, the more you can piece together, and then the more specific you make your choices.
Got it. And that was the case with Mace? Were you like thrown everything in that same moment, or you had some days to prep?
The first time I ever recorded Mace, I had no idea what he looked like. I had no idea, what he was. I just kind of had through context, we had a series of lines that we had to get through. And then, like I said, the director will give you like, okay, this is kind of the relationship and this is what's going on. And full transparency, I've never played a single Call of Duty whatsoever. And then literally they would just say, I would kind of just pick things up. Like you can kind of pick things up like character wise, like, okay, well, he said like, oh, he's kind of tongue-in-cheek. Oh, he's got a little sense of humor here. There are little tidbits that you can get through dialogue and kind of figure out where your character is on the spectrum, So yeah, the first time I recorded him, it was completely blind. And then the more records we did, I was like, I was able to, see the character and kind of see his relationships. And by the time we were doing mobile stuff, I was like, okay, I got a pretty good basis to what this person feels like.
Great. And well, how did you feel that you connected with your character, with Mace, during that time you were working? Yeah. Because I know some actors don't; they just draw away their characters, but some other actors, connect with their characters. So was that the case with Mace?
Oh yeah, you got to. You got to, I feel like if I don't want to give like a line reading, regardless of whatever it goes in here, your directors don't necessarily have to know your process, but they got to believe you. And that's kind of my basis for everything. It's like this is like your audiences like kids or something like that, or do we keep it clean here, or can I say a couple words?
Nah. Okay, the floor is yours. You can say whatever you want.
Okay, because really your directors, they don't give a fuck. Like for the most part, they're worried about the broad spectrum of the thing. All these pieces have to fit together, so they're doing really complex math to make sure all of these characters interlock. And it's incumbent upon the actor to do the minutia. So to me, anything that I'm saying, I have to fucking believe it. That's number one. Is like, do I believe what I'm saying? Or is this a line reading? Because if I don't fucking believe what I'm feeling in this moment, then it's just like, it's a line reading. I know that fucking those speakers is gonna be on 7.1, 5.1, subwoofers are flying, we're in the shit. So it's just like, if I don't believe what I'm saying in this moment, then you and your headsets, it's gonna take you out.
Yeah.
So that's what I really try to do, is I have a really basic thing when it approaches to acting, especially when you're turning things really fast. It's like, do I believe this character? Do I connect with this character? Yeah. How do we get there fast? And I actually record when we did some of the mobile stuff when I was at home. I actually recorded myself with a Glock. So I'll have my Glock with me, like an actual fly. It's not loaded, obviously, but there's something new. I got rack, and I'm up and I'm ready. So I literally have to hold something or feel like do something for myself in the position to get Mace.
Yeah, it's sort of like a form of method acting, so to speak, isn't it? Really, like you have to sort of be, you have to sort of envision yourself in the role, in that sort of the place you are in the script. You like to envision yourself there, really.
Yeah, and it's not too, and not to get too deep into it. It's just something like if you're getting ready to do a fight scene, like you're gonna have your fist balled up. You're gonna, even if you're voicing a character that's dying, these certain things that happen with your body. It's just, I feel like you have to feel it's a very visceral thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I had a lot of coffee. I was like, if I take intense, it's just because I'm passionate. I fucking love creating.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. If you are passionate about your work, we're passionate about your work. So I consider your method pretty badass, if I may say so. Good job.
I would say that passion is really, sort of rubbed off on the Call of Duty fan base, because Mace is is fan favorite. Like, everyone seems to love him. No one has anything bad to say about him, and obviously that reflects on you, because of the work that you've done with him. So you keep going.
Thank you.
Definitely.
I mean, we've got someone here called Ryan Lynn. He's asking, would you ever reprise your role as Mace or another character on Call of Duty projects? Also, of course, he's saying you did a brilliant job.
Thank you, Ryan. To answer your question, that's really not up to me, man. I'm happy to come back as many times as they'll have me, but that's kind of up to them. I don't know, what their plans are with the franchise or any of the storylines. That's just kind of up to them. But I would love to come back as many times as possible, because I mean it's just cool. It's a cool role. It's a great franchise, cool community.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, but sometimes the community can be a little bit toxic at times, right?
I don't play it. People who I've met so far, you guys are people at cons, like they've been ultra cool. Now, maybe that might be something different. Like they might approach me different in real life. They would. But for the most part, like everybody's been super cool. Anybody who's reached out, and like I said, I'd like to reach out to everybody and reply to anybody who gets in like my Instagram or anything. I really make it a point to just talk to people, and everybody who's reached out has been super cool. So on my end, I've never had a bad experience, and knock on wood, I hope I continue.
I think a few of the actors we've actually spoken to, I don't think a single person's had any issue with a fan, anything like that. So it is good to see that, definitely. So more about your voice acting roles. What was your favourite role as a voice actor? Of course, you've had a few quite sort of noteworthy parts. So, of course, you were Boros from One Punch Man, of course, weren't you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Definitely. That was a highlight. I would say 3 really stick out to me, because it was just like there's a couple ones that I knew I was auditioning for, and I was like, oh, I want this. So I would say Thundercats. Number 1, I always wanted to do Panthro. I'm just like, game over, like I'll take that. Tusk, I was always a Killer Instinct fan, like back in the day, and I was a Tusk player. Like I played Tusk, Saberwolf, and I played Maya. So just to be a part of Killer Instinct, it was like,
Killer Instinct was definitely a game from my childhood, which I absolutely love.
Those are 2
I played it too. Pretty badass.
Oh, they were? Yeah. Thank you. Those are 2 games I actually played: Street Fighter and Killer Instinct. Like I play those because you can get in real quick and get out. Yeah. And then Lord Boros was fantastic. Lord Boros was fantastic, and Strife from Darksiders, just because that was just really fun. I really enjoyed Strife, but those really stick out to me.
Okay. Diego,
So
do you want to ask some?
we were just talking about Boros, and I gotta tell you, I'm a big One Punch Man fan. So sitting down with the guy that actually took 2 punches from Saitama is So
Yes.
beyond amazing. So I gotta ask you this, man. How was your time doing the English voice for Boros?
Man, I was there for a day. It was great because that's one of the few series that I saw all the way through before recording. So I had watched season one on Hulu on a whim. I was like, it was like One Punch Man, and then the opening was fire. I was like, this is great. And then I saw the premise of the show. This guy beats everybody in one punch. I'm like, okay, how could this possibly have legs? Let's see. And then I remember just watching everything, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, this thing is amazing. So then I got the audition, and I think I auditioned for like three people, and then hearing when I got Lord Boros, I was like, which was Lord Boros? I Googled, I was like, oh my god, yes, yeah, the boss. So the whole time I'm there, I'm like, I got my team, I got my friend Juice. I'm like, all right, let's go. Like I'm going to give this everything because I just even if you watch the intro season one, I'm like, yo, this thing thunders, man. So I'm gonna give it everything. So yeah, being in the booth, we fucking swung for the fences, and it worked out. They liked it, I liked it, and that just recording that was just like, because I worked with Bang Zoom a whole bunch. I've done some projects there, and I'd always done like some kind of characters, like little ones, and this was like the first time I actually had like a decent character that moved the storyline that had some meat to it, and I was like, they were pleasantly surprised, and me, I really enjoyed doing it.
Perfect. And yeah, you can actually tell that about your work. The English dub was really great. And then, well, not a lot of people can say that about animes. They prefer the original language, but the English dub for One Punch Man was perfect. And I can see why. So you were in another favorite film of mine, Extraction. So how was working on Extraction? I know you're a stuntman, so working on that must have been really fun, right?
You know what is as hilarious is the director of that film, Sam Hargrave, years ago, back when I was like when I started stunting, I had met Sam Hargrave at 8711. That's a place where you see like Charlize Theron training and Holly Berry and and Keanu Reeves. Well, I don't know if he trains there, but those guys, that stunt team, like essentially. That's where I met Sam Hargrave, is doing their workouts. And I remember working on his short years ago, a long time ago. It was Fado. It was called Fado. It was him and Fernando Chin. Long story short, I we were working on this thing, and it's like they had fight guys all over the place. And I remember kicking him in the face with church shoes by accident, like real hard. And I was like, oh, kick people as stunts, like and I was just like, oh man, I'm sorry. And he was like, took another chance, like, no worries. I'm like, this guy's a rock star. He's a cowboy. He's tough. Fast forward many years later, actually before then, he did all of the ADR for his short film in my place. Because he was like, yeah, this sounds bad, and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, hey, look, I'm a voiceover guy. I have all of the stuff. You can just do your ADR at my place. So him and Fernando came. I went to Ralph's, and they just spent the afternoon doing the ADR. Fast forward, I kept tabs on him because I was always a fan. He was he's super tough, really cool guy. And then I hear he's doing a movie with Chris Hemsworth, and I'm like, oh wait, that's on the vision. That's on the vision board. I'm gonna call him up, right? Called him up. He was in India, and I was like, bro, like I am not going to hustle you every 5 minutes because I know you have a film. But every time you have a film, I'm going to hustle you at least once. So I was like, yo, is there anything I can read for? And I'm not asking for a part. I will read. I'm very used to fighting for my meals. I'm like, it's just something I can read for. Long story short, he was like, yeah, there's not much, but if you speak a little bit of French. And I was like, well, and I spoke a little. J'ai aimé que tu partager avec moi, c'est pour ça, si je dois apprendre la langue, ce n'est pas grave. Right? I was like, a little bit, I speak a little bit, but I was like, I was learning several languages because I saw all the opportunity that speaking Japanese brought me. So he was like, yo, you speak a little bit? I was like, yeah, I can practice, man. So I ended up auditioning, and I had waited literally 10 years, 10 years to get in that office. Cast. I waited. Sarah Finn does all the Marvel movies and all the big stuff. I waited 10 years to get in that, and I talked to my agent. I'm like, I'm giving you behind the scenes stuff because I don't know. It's just it's an amazing story for me, but it's a career finding moment.
Go
So
ahead, please.
yeah, rock with me for a little bit. Rock with me for a little bit. So anyway, I call my agent, right, and I have to deal with all these like one-liners and shit like that. Something really doesn't matter, much in as far as like advancing my career. I was like, "Yo, Sarah Finn is gonna call with an audition," and he was like, "Okay, yeah, sure. Well, we'll see." And I'm like, "No, Sarah Finn's gonna call." Like, all right. Sure enough, Sarah Finn called. I'm like, "Oh, you got an audition for Extraction." My agent shit. He's like, "Oh, he should call." I was like, "Yeah, bro." I'm like, "Yo, that's what I've been saying. Like, pitch me, man. I'm out here. I'm doing it." So, long story short, my friend he came and helped me. We did the audition. I did it in English and in French. And then my agent called me, got the gig. I was like, sweet. He's like, we need you to go to India and Thailand. And I was like, sweet. So what happened was originally I was supposed to play the character that Sam, the director, had to play. But what happened is my visa didn't get through in time. So they were calling me and saying, hey, man, we're shooting your scene tomorrow. Sorry. And I'm just like, fuck. I'm like, bro, I fought so hard to get this role, but luckily, Joe Russo, they was like, yeah, we're gonna write you in. So they wrote me a smaller part. I got Thiago, and then I just did all my stuff in Thailand. So I say all that to say this, like, it was amazing to just really put something on the board and say, I want to work with Chris Hemsworth. I want to work with my friends. And then have my friend direct a film that Chris Hemsworth, it was like, this is crazy. And then actually legitimately booked the job. It was amazing. I just remember being flown out, and when they fly you out, I mean, I was 12 hours to Thailand, but I remember having a suite around me where it's like you had the seats where you could lean back and shit. And do all that. Oh my God, I can hear the fly again. I am so spoiled. But it's such an experience to go there, to go in Thailand. And, I got a tradition. Whenever I get in my hotel room, first thing I do, bubble bath. We out here. I use up all the fucking shampoo. We out here. We do all the shampoo. But, it was probably a career highlight. That, in turn, was a career highlight. Nice. And that was a very long-winded answer, but I'm like, dude, that was stuck my heart, man.
I knew.
That's a great story. That
I knew. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, if I may,
I like meeting him and then talking to him. It's like, oh, I get it. Like, he is probably the most charismatic person in the world. Like you, and it's just like I think that's just his default. Yeah. I'm just like, wow, I'm just trying to be shit. Oh, okay.
I mean, the movie was fucking amazing. I loved every second of it. The stunts were, as you say, top. They were fucking amazing. So you mentioned you had another character for you, but you didn't get there in time. Which character you were supposed to be in the movie?
Okay, so originally, it was the I forgot his name, but the director Sam Hargrave actually played that character. He was supposed to be a sniper, right? Gaetan. That was who I was supposed to be. Gaetan. His name was Gaetan. But I was really supposed to shoot in India and in Thailand. But like I said, just because the visa didn't come through and it just took a while to get my stuff through India, Sam ended up having to do that role. But it was cool. But either way, I mean, they're doing the second one right now, which is amazing. They're shooting that right now.
And you're in it? Please tell me you're in it.
No, I'm not in it. I mean, I didn't make it out the first one. But yeah, they're shooting the second one, and I think it's still all the same people. I don't know the details of it. But yeah, it's. I mean, Sam is on Instagram. They're shooting it now, and it looks like they're in a very cold place. So I'm kind of happy I didn't mind it. Like, glad we did that one. Sam is one of my favorite people. Yeah.
So I want to talk a little bit about your stunt work as well. Then, how do you get prepared yourself physically, mentally to do obviously the work? Because stunt work is very, very physically demanding and mentally definitely. So it'd be nice to hear from yourself, sort of how you prepare for that kind of thing.
Well, main thing is training. The good thing about it is, like I said, if you work on a puppet show, you're gonna end up on a puppet show. So, the good thing about it is when you're in a film and TV town, there are They are stunt people that train together, that work things out. If you're a car guy, you can find your tribe there. I was mainly fights. Just because I always wanted to be Wesley Snipes growing up, so I was particularly drawn to fight sequences and martial arts choreography. So, and that's kind of where the entry level jobs where you get stunts is fights, flips, falls. That's where you're essentially going to be hired first, and then throughout your career, you can kind of join and do more wire work. If you want to do high falls, you can do that stuff, fire burns. But essentially, it's that because how a stunt person gets their jobs is when production goes up, the stunt coordinator pretty much he goes through the entire script and he figures out how to get whatever's in the director's mind on the page and on time and under budget. So the stunt coordinator is the person who hires you. So say they don't necessarily know you, they might try you out on something different. It's a referral business, so that's why you really want to get around people who do the thing that you do. And a lot of these people who do stunts, they're probably world class at another point. Like a lot of world class martial artists and like the best people from all walks of life end up doing movies because especially like when it comes to something like Call of Duty, you'll need someone who's an expert in firearms, who is proficient, who knows how to do speed loads, and they can do it really, really fast. And it's like normally those are the real guys, and then they'll transition into either consulting or stunt work. But like I said, I just always wanted to do action films, so I always trained that. Ended up being decent. I could throw a punch, take a punch, and that's where I started. That's kind of where I started.
Cool. What's your favorite movie to work as a stuntman then? Because you've been in some quite big films, Batman vs Superman, Civil War.
Civil War.
That was in my hometown. Like that was a fun one. I would say Supergirl is probably where I did the most work. Season 1 Supergirl, I did a lot of the Martian Manhunt stuff.
Yeah.
We did fights. I did wire work, all that other stuff.
Yeah.
God of War was another one where we just did so much stuff. I don't know if you guys played the latest rendition of it, but pretty much essentially whenever Kratos is fighting Boulder, that's me and Cobus, and we did all types of stuff. We built platform. We would have to figure out stuff, and that was probably fun too. But I would say probably Supergirl, because that's where they actually built the suit for me, and just when they put on the cape, something about when you put on the cape and you go to set, it's just like, oh, it's a great feeling. It's really, really, really cool. Yeah, Supergirl was fantastic.
That's cool. We've got a question on here. Basically, someone's asking, what is your favorite video game, if you have one?
Darkseid's Genesis, for obvious reasons. Yeah, other than that, probably I play Street Fighter and I play Killer Instinct. I play 2 games. Samurai Showdown too. But those are like the games that I buy every year just because I'm like, it feels good to get online and just play a little bit. But yeah, I would probably say between those 2 are Marvel superheroes if you know that back in the day. But yeah.
Good choice. Street Fighter is a really good game.
Which one?
Street Fighter is a really good game. I played it until this day. It's fucking amazing, man.
Yeah. The 5th one I didn't get into as much, but like 4 Ultra was really solid. Really, really like. 5th I have them all, but I think I played the most out of like 5th, and then Alpha 2 is still like.
Alpha. The Alpha ones were they were perfection. The number 3 was my favorite. I played it every day.
Yeah, you're like my roommate. He did that too. He played 3 all the time. He was
great.
Great.
Stefan, Diego, do you want to ask anything?
I had one question actually. Chris, you mentioned before how your sort of routine, as it were, how you got into character when you're preparing for your vocal roles, when you're doing voiceover work for games. Does this, I guess, method acting technique, does it also transition towards into your motion capture work as well?
Like I said, it really just depends on the role, man. It depends on how much time I give you. That's the biggest deciding factor. If you're coming in and then they're like, okay, well, and you're kind of coming into the situation blind, you just have to kind of be open to playing and then do the math really fast. But I would say my process is kind of like a tool belt. I've studied with a lot of people in LA, and I think it's just like a tool belt. I don't never stay at one spot for too long. I like kind of like, all right, this is their way, this is their way. Because the way I approach it is like, you could stay at an acting school for a very long time and learn their way of acting, but the reason why I don't stay at one place too long, because I'm not going to work with the same director all the time. Different people have different methods and have different ways of attacking the work. So yeah. I was like, well, I don't need to be an expert. Let me get broad strokes in as much stuff as I possibly can. And if I understand the process, then I can learn how to pick up things really fast. So essentially, it's like my process is very, 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 very simple. I just have to fucking believe it. So I have to believe it, even if it's something heightened. Like, if I don't believe what I'm saying, I'm just like, no, let me do that again. So, yeah.
And when you say as well that you love your sort of more action sequences, work very physical sort of roles, do you in your sort of spare time do you watch any martial arts like MMA or whatever on TV as well?
Well, here's the thing. I think there's a balance. I think like a lot of stunt people and a lot of people that are newer to stunts, I would say, a lot of times it's just fight. And then the more you progress, once you start choreographing and then when you start coordinating, it's like, then it becomes story. And my thing is like, I've never really been just one thing. I've never been just an actor, just stunts, just this, just voice. I've kind of taken pieces from everything. And then I feel like story drives everything. So I feel like the action is great. The story is king. So I got to give a fuck about the people throwing punches. If I don't, I'm out. I'm completely out. If it's like, you could do a 50-beat choreography thing, and if I'm really invested in the characters and the story, then hey, I'm in. But if it's just kick, punch, and just action, or you're just blowing shit up, like I don't give a fuck. Like I have to care about it. Has to serve the story. If you've got to build up those characters where it's like, I'm on the edge of my seat because I want to see this character get out of that situation, or I want to see them fucking burn with the world. Like it has to be either or. I feel like if you're not like, oh fuck, I'm scared of this explosion because of what may happen to said character, then that's correct storytelling. But I just think there has to be a balance. And it's like, yeah, and there's another thing. It's just like, show, don't tell. Like it can't all just be dialogue and exposition and then just like world building. At some point, you got to fucking do something for me to care. So it's just like we all love Captain America. We all want to be Captain America. We all love his ideals, and we love how squeaky clean he is, and all that other stuff. And we love the fact that he's fighting for it. He has a big heart. And at some point, hey, motherfucker, you got to throw that damn shield before I turn this off. Like you got to do something. So just like it's a balance. It's really a balance. So yeah.
Yin yang, basically.
And do you have any more questions from the live chat or?
No.
I do have a actor coming in to do ADR fairly soon, just because I'm making a film. I didn't know if I told you guys I made a film called Get the Girl, all by myself. Well, not all by myself.
Nice.
All of my friends, we came together and we did a film. So we're literally cutting audio right out of my apartment. So, coming together fairly well. So, follow me on Instagram. You can see kind of the trajectory of the film. It's going to be fun. Called Get the Girl.
Okay.
We'll be waiting.
Anyone out there wants to follow Chris on his social media? So is it you have your Instagram and what else do you have?
It's just my name. I'm mainly on Instagram. I might get into Twitter a little bit, but for the most part, I'm most active on Instagram. So if you want to hit me up, if you want to chat, there is probably the best place. Where you guys, by the way? Like, are you guys all in the same place? Or are you different countries? Or?
I'm in the UK countries. At the minute.
You're in the UK?
I'm usually based in London, but I'm currently in Ireland at the moment.
Okay.
And I'm from Bolivia.
Bolivia?
Yeah, cool. Bolivia. Yeah, South American, right below Chile.
How'd you guys all meet?
Through the group, and yeah,
that's awesome.
we all run the group together.
That's all.
Yeah, basically.
Basically, we just started making memes, discussing games and things, and then we just sort of got into talking to people like yourselves, actors, of the franchise, and yeah, we're really enjoying it. It's great for us to speak to people like yourself.
We'll start with you, Paul. What's your favorite fandom?
Pardon, sorry?
What's your favorite fandom? Like, what's your favorite thing that you like? Like, it can be a franchise, game, anything. Like, what's your favorite thing that you geek out about?
Well, I set up a Call of Duty group, so Call of Duty's got to be it's got to be that, really. I love Call of Duty. I've been playing it since the start, really. Just when I was a kid, game came out. In fact, I bought it thinking it was Medal of Honor. To be honest with you,
I can work with Medal of Honor too.
Yeah, so I kind of and then after that, I just sort of I've stuck with the the game, the franchise ever since. Really,
awesome.
I love Call of Duty. I love the community, even though it can be quite toxic and a bit of a pain sometimes, especially some people in the group as well. I won't mention names or anything. But
What about you, Stefan?
Favorite franchise as a whole. Considering it branched out into video games and etc., I'd say the Lord of the Rings. The whole Middle-earth J.R.R. Tolkien, the films, the video game adaptations, just from the books from a young age, it really resonated with me. So the fact that it branched out so much, it's like the perfect franchise for me.
It's awesome because it is vast and deep. It's a lot.
I'm even looking forward to the Amazon show as well. I am really looking forward to that.
I saw the trailer, yeah.
Oh, $billions to make me a precious show that I can win. What about you, Diego?
Oh man, I've been through so many. Obviously, one of my favorites is Call of Duty, which is why I'm with the group so long, which is why I interview so many actors. I've been through the Metal Gear fan base too, and I know you did some stunt work for Rising, which I wanted to ask you about if we have time. So if we can talk about it later. I've been through the God of War fandom, but I've been playing Warzone like. When I'm not working, I'm playing Warzone. So I would say that my favorite community right now is the Call of Duty one. Definitely.
He says all these different franchises, but then he's got a massive Assassin's Creed poster on his wall behind him.
I was a big Assassin's Creed fan. I still are. Not the same way I was before, but I am still are. But I don't play Assassin's Creed anymore. I play Warzone all day long, man. It's probably becoming an issue right now.
Well, you're probably very good. I need to play once. Like I need to jump in, but I'm scared of being destroyed and then it being lorded over me. Yo, Mace, I totally destroyed him. Like real bad, made him cry.
Well, we're setting up an actor, content creator, and fan Warzone event sometime. If you want to jump in sometime with us, Yeah, I think we've got Jeff Leach joining in, Martin Coppin. Got quite a few, Chad Michael Collins as well, who plays Alex, obviously. We'd love to have you involved, if you want to join in with us, you're more than welcome to. We're going to just do a private Warzone lobby, so no tryhards or anything like that. We're all just going to have a good time. So
just me.
You are more than welcome to
try hard.
Well, that's why you're on my team, Diego, that's why.
I know.
Let me get to the spin, but we'll see about it. So, guys, I got to rush really soon. Is there any final questions you guys wanted to ask or anything?
Diego.
Yes, please. I was dying to ask you about the Metal Gear one because I'm such a fucking big fan of Metal Gear. I love Revenge. So I thought it was gonna be an awful game because no Snake, but it turned out to be great. So I need to ask you, how was your time working at the stunts on that game?
So actually, and we're out of time. Well, there you go. So I was in. I did something very, very, very early back when it was at MAS. Back when it was in. It was in. We were working in Jim Henson's place. So we were doing some very early stunt stuff there. We worked with Junior stunt team, and then what happened was we did our first pass, and then it moved to Ninja Theory. So I didn't work on it when it went to Ninja Theory. I worked on it in the very, very, very beginning. But I mean,
Okay, got it.
I think we did maybe like 3 or 4 days. It was a great time. Great people. I think Matt Mullins, he was mocapping Raiden, tall guy, champion. They were. I mean, everyone was super solid. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, we went there. We did some fights. We did some robot stuff. I still have some. Like a folder signed and everything. Like they gave us a really cool folder in the pamphlet the first day we were working. But yeah, those were my fond memories of that. It was just 3 days in Henson.
That's great.
Oh man, yeah, that's great. But I wish you had stayed with the rest of the game. But yeah,
I think they did
pleased
the
to
rest.
know that you're.
I'm not sure, but yeah, I know Ninja Theory took it over, but we were in before I went to Ninja Theory.
I was following from back then, so yeah. Well, shame that they didn't cast you there. Would be great.
Well, maybe that's for the better because I mean, you clearly enjoyed the game. I don't know, So at the end of the day, it worked out. Everybody had a good time. They exchanged hands, but at the end of the day, I mean, good game's a good game, right?
Yeah, I guess. And well, good thing is that we have you as Mace, so win-win.
Yes. Tell all your friends to have more Mace content. I don't know what they have.
Oh, there's a lot of Mace content, definitely.
Sweet. All right.
Definitely.
Well, tell anybody if they send it to me, I post it on my wall. That's kind of what I do. So I mean,
In comes about 1,000 members now spamming you on Instagram.
first come, first serve.
That's exactly what they did with James Burns and Chad Michael Collins. So you're gonna get it now.
Yeah, right. First come,
Yeah,
first
your
serve.
turn.
Oh, it's manageable. Like, if you're here first, I'll put up my wall.
Here comes some Mace fanfic now as well.
Oh, spicy.
Right. It was fantastic. Thank you so much for having me.
It's an absolute honour to have you here. Honestly,
That's a pleasure.
it's been a great time. Honestly, thank you so much for coming and talking to us. We really appreciate it as well. Yeah.
Absolutely, man. Let me know when this goes on, and I'll share it on my the post and all that stuff.
Thank you. That means a lot. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you, Chris. Bye.
There we go. We're clear.
That went really, really well.